Hi everyone, Leonard Collin here from Cork ITF Taekwondo. Well, with our new season now up and running, I just wanted to take a moment to talk to everyone about the structure of our clubs. So we've been developing our system over the last 22 years, and as I said in last week's video, I kind of gave you the syllabus and the overview of everything that's going on. But there's a few important steps along the way that is important for people to be made aware of, and so that they're involved in the choices and the decisions that are made. So the three big steps that we have is our three main programs: our ninja program, our junior program, and our senior program. Now, with everything that we do, it's all Taekwondo and it's all about the long-term development of the students, but we have different age groups and different belts that cater for different things that are going on inside in the class. So you can have a student inside in the same class as another, but working on slightly different things, more appropriate perhaps to their age or to their grade. And just to make sure that every student is in their correct position, I just wanted to go through a few bits and pieces so that people are aware. So number one, our ninja program is designed for students that are aged 4 to 7 years, and it is literally the introduction to martial arts. So again, I always say it's the fun in fundamentals. Now, at the completion of this program, students will then arrive into the junior or the junior beginner program, and this program is catering for ages 8 to 12, and then our senior program is designed for age 13 plus. Now, with all children, okay, a year here or a year there doesn't really make a big difference. So there are certain students that will move forward maybe a year earlier, and there may be some students that will move forward a year later than others. And again, we will do our best to just kind of play that by ear. But this is the reason for the video, to give everyone the opportunity to know what's required, and then to give you some choices perhaps for you to decide, is it a good idea for your child to move forward a little bit quicker or to hold back. Now, all this is to do is to kind of prompt a conversation. So just because you might decide one thing or I might decide one thing, unless all three of us, myself, yourself, and the student, okay, decides on the same thing, we kind of maybe slow down a little bit. So one of the big things that we have is our sports program. The idea is that in the ninja program, the kids work on those basic movements, okay, but we don't allow any equipment. So no gloves and no pads and no nothing. The only pads and shields that we use are in the club, okay, which means that it's not making things too expensive, but also it just keeps the amount of work that's required to a minimum, okay, what is required at the age group. Then we have our junior beginner program. Now, anybody who's in the junior beginner program, age 8 and plus, okay, requires a pair of gloves. Okay, so a pair of Taekwondo gloves. I've had people coming in with boxing gloves and all sorts over the years, guys. They must be Taekwondo gloves. Okay. Now, one of the big things here that we have is that perhaps a student who is not of the age to be in the beginner program, but they have completed the ninja program. So any student who is yellow stripe, so this means that they have completed the ninja program, they're on the yellow stripe, they also need gloves just so that they can move on to that next level. Okay, now again, for white belt beginners, okay, in the age 8 category, they don't need stuff straight away. But obviously kids that have been with me for 2 or 3 years and they've completed the ninja program, it's important that we get them into their gloves as soon as possible so that they can start moving on to that next level. The next big jump is for our students that are green stripe and above. Okay, now these guys, regardless of their age, move into our intermediate program. And the intermediate program basically moves them from our fun day competitions, where they just need a pair of gloves, into our national championships. So we regularly take part in a number of competitions throughout the years, and these are known as the championships. Now again, all of these were given out in your calendar of events that are going on, and it's important to note that students that are in the green stripe and above are only taking part in championship competitions this year and going forward. Now, the other part to this is any student that is age 13 and above, even if you're a brand new beginner, you are only eligible to take part in the championships. Okay, so I do strongly recommend, okay, to getting your full equipment, the gloves, the boots, the shins, the helmets. Okay, so this program does move quite quickly. So students in that category or in that program are allowed to take part in the second exam of the year. So should they be up to the challenge and should they be hitting all of their marks, there will be a December exam for these students as well. Now, the one thing with the December exam, it is a 60%, so a C grade is a minimum requirement. Whereas in the June exam, okay, there is a 40% pass allowance. However, okay, to make sure that we are working at the right level and that people are pushing themselves forward, there's no point speeding ahead, okay, if we're not up to the challenge and the work is not being put in. So again, there are your three big models, okay. Nearly always students will just fall into each one of those categories and we just deal with everything within the club. But sometimes you may have a student who is still maybe 7 years of age, but they might have got to that yellow stripe. So they're right on the cusp. They could stay in the Ninja program for another year, or they can move up into that junior beginner program. Same thing for students that are 12 turning 13 throughout this year. Some of those students may wish to stay in that beginner program, but okay, those who are up for the challenge and who wish to do so, okay, would move into that senior program. But again, the requirement would be that full equipment so that they would challenge themselves. Now, as I always say, this is just to start the conversation. So if anybody would like to come and have a quick chat, or phone call or email or text is always the best. I can spend all day chatting to you before class time. I will always be limited in time if these conversations happen in the class, okay? I will have a chat to students, letting them know what I'm thinking. I will send a text to you to kind of say, hey, this is a conversation that we need to have. And as I said, then the idea is for us to all to sit into our slot into our programs and start working throughout the year. So again, it might all be Taekwondo. Students that have been with me for 10, 12 years, okay, it's always Taekwondo, but what we're focusing on or what the challenges are do change as the years progress. Okay, so again, we already have students that are looking forward to going for their 4th degree black belt this year. So again, that is a massive achievement after our 20 odd years of the club to have a student going forward to become an international examiner. Okay, so again, step by step is Taekwondo. Okay, it's a long haul. Okay, some people will only be with me for a little bit of time, which they'll get the most out of. Others, okay, maybe stick with me for the long haul, but the benefit is there, but people must be aware of their options and to also know what is required of them. So again, please feel free to pick up the phone, always ask if you're not sure what's going on. And as I said, I will do my best then to make everything work for the kids and for yourselves as well. Okay, as always, okay, Taekwon, thank you very much, guys.